The most powerful of Audi's A7 chassis cars, the RS is powered by a 4.0-liter V8 engine that is stated at 560 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. That torque is sent through an 8-speed Tiptronic automatic transmission on its way to the Audi Quattro system and all 420-inch RS design wheels. In this configuration, Audi's all-wheel drive system splits power 40/60ths between the front and rear axles, respectively. This slight rear bias, along with the torque vectoring rear sport differential, contributes to the sporty R7's sporty driving characteristics. Twin turbochargers force-feed air into the V8's cylinders, which is then mixed with direct-injected premium gasoline and combusted to create gobs of power. When all of that capacity isn't required, such as when cruising along, the engine takes advantage of cylinder deactivation tech, shutting down one of its cylinder banks and dropping down to what is essentially a 2.0-liter inline four-banger when not under load. Tilt into the right pedal and the dormant cylinders spring to life so fast and transparently that you'd never know that they were sleeping on the job. This 4.0-liter engine is available with fuel-saving, stop-start anti-idling tech in other Audi vehicles in other markets, but our example was not so equipped. As equipped, the EPA reckons that this big, 560 horsepower, all-wheel drive sport sedan is good for 16 mpg in the city, 27 highway mpg, and a combined average of 19 mpg. No, it won't win any efficiency awards, but those aren't bad numbers at all and should be easily attainable in the real world. However, if you're in the market for about $105,000 of sport sedan, you're probably more interested in the 0 to 60 time of 3.7 seconds and the stated top speed of 174 miles per hour than in fuel econ. For on-track driving and the blitzing of fantastically curvy roads, you can manually choose from the 8 forward gears with the paddle shifter or the shift lever. But for 0 to 60 runs and the causal bending of traffic laws, you may do better to just leave the transmission in its automatic sport mode. It does a great job of anticipating and firing off downshifts before cornering and of holding the revs high into the tachometer's swing when accelerating, ripping off quick upshifts without bouncing off of the rev limiter. Comfort mode is the best for daily driving without the barking of the V8 and jerkiness of the drivetrain, but it's still fairly responsive to throttle inputs. Comfortable and customizable. Many cars these days feature some sort of driver-selectable transmission program or a sport mode. Few are as customizable as the Audi Drive Select system on this R7. From an on-screen menu, the driver can select dynamic, sport, comfort, or automatic settings to instantly adjust the R's engine output, transmission program, adaptive air suspension, the exhaust and engine sound, the feel of the electronic power steering, the assertiveness of the stability control and sport differential, the seat belt tension, and more. Switching between the extremes of comfort and dynamic modes is like night and day. The R7 doesn't become a totally different Audi at the touch of a button, but the changes in steering responsiveness, road feel through the suspension, throttle responsiveness, and, most importantly, the barking and growling of the V8 are certainly noticeable. Even at its softest setting, R7 still feels like a sport sedan. It just gets easier to live with. The suspension is fairly firm. You'll still feel the bumps of the road, just with the harshness of the larger imperfections smoothed out. The comfort steering feels lighter, trading a bit of dynamic road feel for reduced fatigue for longer drives and effortless dancing around the tight turns of a parking deck. With the engine's throttle response smoothed out, the transmission keeping revs low, and the adjustable engine sound keeping noise low, the R7 can also be quite docile and quiet around town in its comfort setting. The Audi MMI infotainment system can be commanded with a combination of a rotary controller on the center console, voice command, and a touch panel input. The controller is a bit wonky, but it's easy to get the hang of once you get past the odd inverted rotation control scheme. Shortcut buttons surrounding the control knob correspond with labels in the corners of the screen and lead to the various top-level areas of the system: navigation, telephone, radio, and media. There are also hardware buttons for the main menu, the car menu, where you can find the drive select settings, and a back button.